back here, he's still agitated, dehydrated, and hungry. We're working with our vet teams and wellness teams to get him back to health. He's socially distancing from his primate family, but we hope to get him returning with his family soon. But just as importantly is his species. The lemur is only born in the island of Madagascar, an island off of Africa. Only 3% of Madagascar's forests remain. It is anticipated that within 20 years, Madagascar will have no trees to support lemurs, and these lemurs will be extinct on the island of Madagascar. It's thus only zoos like San Francisco Zoo who will home and provide habitats for lemurs and other species of Madagascar. So what is so wonderful about this story is that our community came together, our local police officers, our local churches, our local community, to give us the tips to recapture and reunite him in such a special way. Also, our board of directors has committed doubly to this exhibit, the largest outdoor lemur exhibit, and will double its size to have one of the largest Madagascar centers in the world. I'm just so pleased, and I thank everybody for their involvement. It was a perfect ending, and I guess I need to also thank the perpetrators for doing the right thing in the end. So I thank you, and welcome to San Francisco.
Can we ask questions?
Not for me to come.
I think when we have the first coming in, this is going to happen.
Can I turn the volume up a little more?
Yeah, can you guys make it a little louder?
Hold on.
Tay, can you turn it up, please? Tay, can you turn it up? Turn up the volume.
There's some noise.
Get up.
Maybe say test.
Good afternoon. Better? Yes, okay. Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Scott Ryan, RYAN, from the San Francisco Police Department. I am the officer in charge of the burglary unit. Standing to my left is Sergeant Scott Tom, H-O-M, and he is the lead investigator in this investigation that we've been dealing with for the last couple of days. On the 14th of October, 2 days ago, we responded out here to investigate possible theft of the lemur. We conducted an investigation here with our investigators, with our crime scene personnel, and at that point we then put out information to the press and the public, asking for any tips or any information to come into our tip line, and then reach out to all our partners and other agencies in the hopes of recovering the lemur. Fortunately, the following day, the lemur was recovered in a nearby playground in Daly City. Was safely taken back to the zoo by Daly City PD and Animal Care and Control. Later on that evening, which was actually last night, we were fortunate and able to identify a suspect that was taken into custody in Santa Rosa by Santa Rosa Police Department. I'm sorry, Santa Fe Police Department on an unrelated criminal investigation. That suspect was booked into jail in Lane County, and once released on those charges, will be transferred over to San Francisco County Jail, where he will face charges for the burglary, the theft of Moxie. It was, I will have to say, it was a collaboration of getting information out to the public. We did receive a couple very important tips from our tip line, and all that information was actually corroborated and did help in our investigation, as well as our partners in Daly City and in San Rafael, and the communication between all the agencies and the effort to not only importantly bring the animal back, but was able to identify and take a suspect into custody.
Questions? So obviously he was found at the Hope Lutheran School in Daly City. You found the suspect in San Rafael last night. What happened? Can you tell us, did he decide to let the lemur go when he saw the news coverage? Explain how that all transpired?
Quite honestly, the information is still being developed. I don't have all that information together yet. It's an ongoing investigation. So the time lapse between the animal being recovered and the arrest is still being looked into.
How did you identify the suspect?
That's part of the ongoing investigation, and I really can't get into how we identify him.
Motive, why did he take the lemur?
That's a good question. I don't have an answer to that.
Can you give us anything about the suspect? Male?
At the conclusion of the press conference, our PIO will provide you with a name and information, identifying information on the suspect.
Can you talk a little closer to the mic?
Sure. What I said, I'm sorry, is that at the end of the press conference, our press liaison officer will provide you with the name and identifying information on the suspect.
This
Can you
is
tell us
the
if any tips led to the suspect's arrest?
I will say yes, that there was tips that did come in that were very useful, that Sergeant Hahn was able to go out and follow up on, and that were definitely part of helping us identify the suspect. Yes.
What do you think about this as a police agency? This is actually the third time that animals have been stolen from the zoo in the past 20 years. Koalas and I think a howler monkey a few years ago, now this. What do you think? I mean, it's crazy, but it's happened before.
Sure. And you know, as we were just talking as we came in here today, a lot of us grew up coming here as children ourselves and enjoyed the zoo, and the idea of somebody taking advantage of the situation and coming in here and taking an animal, it really to me is just, you don't know, it's kind of unbelievable. I can't understand it myself.
Did the suspect admit at all to doing it, to stealing the lemur once he was arrested?
One last question after this, thank you.
I don't have any information about that saying that, no, I don't know.
One more question. Why is this a serious crime? Some people might think, oh, it's just a prank or something. Why is this you take this very seriously?
Well, I think that the main thing to understand, and I think that this is better for the zoo staff and the professionals to tell you that we're talking about wild animals here. I mean, the people, you know, maybe the idea of having them or getting one would seem like a cool thing to do and like that. But I think the one thing we understand is we're dealing with dangerous animals, and you don't realize what you're getting yourself into.
Did the suspect use bark cutters? What did they use?
That's part of our ongoing investigation, and I'm just not going to get into the different particular parts of that investigation.
Okay, so I think that they're wrapping up, so I just wanted to thank you, officers. It's not a real ring-tail lemur.
A lot safer, I understand.
Thank you very much.
Tanya,
Thank you.
Tanya, could we ask you a few questions, especially since for the little boy who was able to find him in the parking lot?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
we need you to.
I was able to speak to the caller who cited the lemur, which is identified as Maki later. That caller is a San Francisco resident who was able to observe the lemur at the school grounds in Daly City, located on the unit block of San Fernando Way. So the caller was a male, an adult, not a child.
Well, Tanya, I was just wondering if you wanted to thank him. I've interviewed the family, and I have video of the little boy spotting the lemur.
Yeah, until your interview, we weren't aware of him because we were already on our way, but we thanked him.
Can we get you to step up to the microphone just to thank the community and thank the school?
Well, we thank Hope Lutheran Church, particularly one of their employees, who called both us and the police, and the tip was legitimate, and watched the lemur as we approached. We are making a donation to that church and giving them a $2,100 reward as a thank you. I understand there was a young boy there who witnessed this and also called in the tip, and we are giving his family a free membership to the zoo. So again, I thank our community for coming together as quickly as they did. They literally saved a life. And thank you, gentlemen, for your work too.
Thanks, Tanya.
Thank you for all your work, officers. Thank you. Thanks for coming out on a hot day. Thank you.
Hey, Tanya.